Welcome to one of my favorite places, the theater. Here on stage, I'm in the spotlight, the center of attention. That can be exciting, but it's pretty scary too. What if I trip as I walk across the stage? Or my voice squeaks? Or I forget what I'm supposed to say? A lot can go wrong on stage, but when everything goes right, the feeling is fantastic. Every actor dreams of being in the spotlight, but one young actor discovered that it takes more than talent to get here. Her story is in this book, Amazing Grace.
Amazing Grace by Mary Hoffman. Pictures by Caroline Binch. Read by Tyne Daly. Grace loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her, or told to her, or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies, or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha, sitting by the shining big sea water, and Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later, she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black." Ma looked angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." On Saturday, Nana and Grace caught a bus and a train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, "Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet." "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" "We are, honey. But first I want you to look at this picture." Grace saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning New Juliet." "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny is always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time, I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. On Monday, the class met to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You were fantastic, whispered Natalie. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants.
Some of Grace's classmates said she couldn't be Peter Pan because she was a girl and her skin was black. But Grace refused to believe them. And she was lucky. There were other people in her life who believed in her too. Grace's mother and her grandmother helped her see that she could do whatever she wanted. They knew that if you really believe in your dream and try hard enough, almost anything is possible.
My dream has always been to act. I don't know, I think it happened at birth. Like I came out and people applauded and I think I knew then, you know, there in the hospital delivery room that was gonna be, you know, my thing. That sounded like a very intense discussion.
Yeah. My friend Whoopi Goldberg followed her dream. And now, well, she's a star.
That's why the Enterprise is being sent back to Earth. I didn't realize.
Something, isn't it?
I love performing. It's always been a thing that made me the happiest, because you could be anybody, you know, you could turn into anything. So I never let people tell me that because I'm a woman, this isn't possible, or because I'm black or African American, that this isn't possible. I grew up in a household that never made me think that I couldn't, or that what I was doing was weird or strange. My friends did, but my mom never did.
This is my long, luxurious blonde hair. Ain't it pretty? Yeah. I could put it in a ponytail, wanna see? Yeah. No.
Well, the little girl who wants the luxurious blonde hair comes from the fact that when I was a little girl, magazine covers used to have the Breck girl. And the Breck girl had the perfect face and the perfect hair. And it seemed to me that lots of people thought that that was the only way you could be considered beautiful or exciting.
It don't do nothing. It don't blow in the wind. And it don't cascade down my back.
And I discovered that everyone, at some point in their life, wants to look like somebody else, wants to be not who they are, but something else that will maybe be different or better. And what you learn the older you get is that it's not as exciting to be just like somebody else. It's much more interesting to be an individual. You've seen my hair, it's long, it's got my dreads. When I first started out, you wouldn't believe the things that people were saying. They just didn't understand. They thought I was funny looking, they called me Raggedy Ann. And now, wow, you look around and you see nothing but braided hair and dreads, and you're seeing it on black and on white and on Asian. I tell you, it's pretty neat, you know? It's pretty neat. So I think being an individual is much more interesting. The roles that I do are the roles that I'm interested in.
Molly, you're in danger.
Now, you can't just blurt it out like that and quit moving around, will you? Because you're starting to make me dizzy. I'll just tell her in my own way.
Molly, you in danger, girl. Miss Thompson, I don't want your children to grow up scared of mine.
It's just that a lot of the whites are scared. I'm a little scared.
We're all scared. What's scaring you, Miss Thompson? Who you are, who Mr. Thompson wants you to be? 6 months you'll be gone. We'll just say that Maggie went to Tibet to visit with the Dalai Lama. Like a spiritual thing.
I thought the Dalai Lama moved to L.A.
Well, then some other Lama then. It doesn't matter. Fernando Lama, come on.
No!
You keep your finger on that dream. Because you can do anything you set your mind to do. You can. You may not do it overnight. You may not be incredibly successful the way that we look at success, i.e. you may not become really wealthy or really famous, but you may find yourself feeling really good about what you find that you have within you. Find the people who will help you achieve your dream. I think dreams come true. I'm sitting here talking to y'all. That's the I'm on the television. Who knew?